Welcome to the Flannel podcast, where we take a deep dive into the music that defined a generation. From the fading echoes of glam metal to the rise of raw and gritty grunge.
Whether you rocked out in high school back then or just curious about this legendary era, join us as we explore the music that made us and maybe still does.
Ladies and gentlemen, rock and roll. Welcome to Flannel Tribe Epi 2. Epi. We're calling episodes Epis now.
Because that's what we do.
All right, that's our thing.
So
last,
you're a host. I'm a host. Don't forget.
Right, we're hosts. This is the hosts of Flannel Tribe podcast. I'm Jay, and this is my co-host, my assistant, Tom. He assists me, Tom.
Hey now. I can't say that. Howard Stern says it. Whatever.
I stole that whole bit from Home Improvement. This is Al. Al's my assistant.
Oh,
he
yeah,
assists me, remember?
Oh, my God. Yeah, stupid.
Anyways, it was 2 weeks ago now. We put up our first episode.
First
epi.
Yeah.
Just an introduction. We just wanted to sort of familiarize whoever with us and what we wanted to do.
And we didn't even introduce ourselves in the introductory episode.
No, but we did make perfectly clear that we've never done this before, so
nope. Still never.
Right. So we've done this one time. We received positive feedback, so we did something right. I guess some people dug it. We got good feedback. People in multiple parts of the state and country and world. We've gone worldwide. We went to right on our first epi.
That's why we're like stars now.
Well, Tom's a star. That's why he's got those glasses, because
when you have glasses like this, you're
stars.
A star.
Stars wear glasses. Yeah.
Yes.
I like your glasses.
I like yours too.
Yeah.
I feel like Stevie Wonder. So if I fall off the chair during the episode,
I can't pick you back up.
Just start veering off. Hey.
So it was good. Positive feedback. It's enjoyable.
Mm-hmm.
I did get some good advice from someone who has a pretty successful podcast. They said as soon as it stops being fun, or as soon as it feels like work, stop.
Right.
And so far, I've been enjoying the whole process of getting everything done. Going, the website creation and all that shit, and all the social. Well, I'm not huge in social media, but it's necessary, I guess, nowadays, right? So.
That's for sure. Actually, I kind of seem to have taken that advice. That's why I'm not at work today, because it became work. So I just said, just quit. Don't do it.
Fuck it.
So,
feels like work. Yeah. I'm not doing it.
Yeah. Nada.
Fuck it. So for today's episode, for today's epi, we're talking about a staple of anyone that's our age, of their childhood. They're either favorite channel or a forbidden channel, because I know people who were not allowed to watch it. Do you? I'm sure you do.
Yeah, Playboy.
You watch it through the fucking squiggly lines.
Every now and then, a nipple. A gray, green, wiggly nipple.
If you're lucky.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, there's one right there.
Yep. What everybody wanted back then, and what would be really nice to have now, is
nipples.
And wanting their MTV.
Their MTV. So it was a huge part of, it was, how can you say how important it was to a band's career to have not only, a good single, a good song, but you also had to look good, because now it became very visual.
Looking at MTV, it's the bands during the time period that we're really talking, maybe they wouldn't have been as big as they are if MTV weren't around. Because that definitely, there was exposure there. There was obviously, for the most part, there was no internet to go find anything. The only music you were hearing is what was on the radio, then on MTV.
Well, I know prior to that, they would do. I mean, it's before my time, but they would do promo clips on TV. So there'd be TV shows that would have specific promo clips on shows like Don Kirshner and Dick Clark would do stuff. Bandstand,
Yeah, yeah.
American Bandstand. That's the only time you really got to see bands because you had radio. That was it.
I remember
It,
kind of watching some of that when I was little.
it was reruns. It was
Yeah,
reruns. I don't
and
remember when did we get cable. When did you get cable? We probably got it in '83 or '84. That's my guess.
I know we had cable for a little while. The with MTV coming in, it was put on in my house almost like radio.
The
You know,
background.
yeah. And then I'd pass by, here and there, go through the living room, and then I'd see a video on, or I'd actually like pull this pillow off my bed and lay it on the floor, and just like lay there and watch TV, watch MTV for for a while, and then if something came on that was just like I was out.
It was mostly from what I remember. Now, see, it actually started on August 1st, '81, but and I think, and I when researching this epi, I found out that I think it was only in a select couple towns in New Jersey.
Right.
Like that's it. If you happen to tune in right there, you were able to see MTV. But we didn't get cable till like '83 or '84, so I wouldn't have seen any of that. And even then, I don't remember really watching it until probably the maybe '86,
Yeah.
'85. But I remember when we got cable, they had. Do you remember the fucking giant antennas that were on our houses?
Yeah. Yeah.
Those big like clothesline rack looking fucking antennas.
My neighbor just put one in their yard to hang their clothes on. Actually, the other day.
Is that for real?
Yes.
It's fucking.
It's actually the clothesline. It's a real clothesline, though. But,
I'm like
yeah.
those antennas were nasty looking. But
Yeah.
I remember the cable guy coming. It was an all day process. All day. The guy was there taking the thing off the house, running the wire from the pole, whatever else he had to do. I don't know. I remember it took all day. And then we had cable. And I don't remember what the first thing was. It must have been a box. I think it was a cable box, and it had a slide on it. Do you know what I mean? You would select the channel by sliding this thing over back and forth. I think.
No, well, I know we had. I think our first one was this brown box, and it
Well,
had
they're all brown. They're all like
little,
wood grain.
yeah,
brown.
that simulated wood grain
Yeah.
shit. But it had like all little buttons on it, and there was a card at the top that showed actually all the channels that were available, and then there was almost like an A and B.
Yeah.
So that's what we had. I remember we had. Pretty sure we just had cable all the time, I think, at our house. But then my landlord upstairs, that guy, he had money, and so he probably had it at his house already, and that's how we got it.
You piggybacked off of him. Yeah.
No, I don't think we did that, but
I just remember it being a huge process. Then we got it, and it was like, this whole fucking like floodgate of channels was
right.
there, and MTV was the one.
All 19 of them.
Well, yeah, and it was channel 25 was MTV.
25 all the time here for sure.
Yeah. So I know the first video on MTV, everyone knows this video killed the radio star.
Cannot stand that song.
I'm not really a fan of it either.
No,
but I get you could see why they did that.
Right.
You know what I mean? The second one. What's the second one? No one knows the second one. You Better Run, Pat Benatar. Which is which is a better song.
Right.
Cut here.
I was being quiet.
Yeah, I know you're being quiet.
You're not now.
I just wanted to make sure that any crinkles didn't come through. It's all right.
I was tiptoeing.
Can I have a candy?
You just want a candy. That's why you're cutting.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
We went trick-or-treating at fucking Disney World.
Yeah.
And they put candy in this bag with a shovel, with an ice scoop. You know, like when you take ice.
Yeah, yeah.
And it was pretty cool. It was really cool. Oh, this is not going to work for me. Oh, here we go.
What a fucking idiot, man. Oh, this isn't
Snickers.
going to work for me.
Well, M&M's.
What a brat.
I'm actually not going to eat
Can
that.
you guys hear me coughing or no?
What happened?
Sometimes
Can you
I
guys hear
do.
me coughing or no?
Can I hear you talking?
Coughing.
Coffee.
Tom, I can't because of all this, but Tom said sometimes he can.
So
All right.
shut up.
I'll go in the bathroom to cough.
So shut up, he said.
Choke.
Then he said choke. So who was speaking?
So you then said about the second song was Pat Benatar's Don't Run Away or whatever.
Pat Benatar, You Better Run.
Yeah.
Which coincidentally makes her the first female to ever be played on MTV. And her husband, Neil Gerardo? I can't remember that guy's name. You know him.
No.
Anyways, so that's the first guitar solo ever played on MTV. If you think about it.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Is that important? I don't know. Probably not.
Porn?
Is that important?
He said, is that porn? Yeah, it's guitar porn.
You know, to some people it is, I guess.
Yeah.
And then you had the original VJ's video jockey. Right. JJ Jackson. Do you remember any of these people? Because I remember all of them.
J.J. Jackson. Not really. I know his name gets mentioned from time to time, especially on Sirius, but I don't. Maybe if I seen him, I do.
He passed away. You can still see him, but he unfortunately passed away.
Yeah.
Nina Blackwood.
Yeah.
You still hear her on Sirius all the time. She's known for that voice that she has, the raspy voice.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Which may or may not be from heavy smoking. I don't know. Mark Goodman.
Yep.
Mark Goodman, who was there from 81 to 87. Nina Blackwood, 81 to 86. Same with J.J. Jackson. And Martha Quinn.
Right.
You remember her. 81 to 86. And then she came back in 89 for some reason and stayed until 92. And then Alan Hunter. And
that's right.
Alan Hunter, and he's on Sirius now, isn't he, or something like that? You can hear him on Sirius.
I think most of them are.
Well, he was actually the first one with airtime.
Yeah.
So he would have been the first one you saw in 1981, and he left in 87. But now, as far as us go, I don't know for you. For me, it would have been in the mid-'80s for the first time I saw it. From my research, it said that they played mostly rock, a lot of rock, and then it it spread out to other stuff.
Yeah.
But I can't think of a video that I saw. I do remember seeing the Rock Me Amadeus video when he's got the. Did you remember that video or no?
I kind of do. Yeah.
He's got the hair on.
Right.
You know, it's a wig. He's supposed to look like Mozart or whatever.
Right.
But and the Ghostbusters video, I remember that, stuff like that. But nothing really hit me.
To back up before, when you were talking about the MTV being only in certain markets, really, so saying about New Jersey, and
it said it was just
it
was just in like not even all of New Jersey, like one town or two, like very small.
Yeah,
and there would be like blackness, like blank space between songs because it's literally somebody switching the VHS tape to put in a new video.
Right.
You know, it's like if you happen to be watching at that time. I don't know who was watching, but
well, the thing with the whole I Want My MTV was, to get you to call your cable provider and be like, hey, we want the MTV. So there was a commercial in the 50s, and it was a cereal commercial. And there was some guy that was on the team at MTV, and he kind of took the idea from this cereal commercial that said, whatever the cereal was, it was, I want my Mapo.
Oh,
And
Meepo. I
this
remember it.
guy, yeah.
I remember that
So in the
shit.
commercial, it said, I want my Mapo. Well, this guy came up with, like, well, I want my MTV. And he wanted to have like these rock stars almost like crying, like, oh my God, I want my MTV. Like they were so desperate for it. And that little campaign really wasn't going to fly. So this other guy comes in and they changed it up to where all the ones that you know now, it's like, I want my MTV. Like, yeah, call them up. I want my MTV. Pete Townsend and
Yeah,
Billy Idol and
they
all
had all
that.
the stars doing that, and it would
Yeah,
be like cuts of people just saying that.
right. And that was so you could, you know, you basically were doing their dirty work of, hey, let's get them here. Let's get them here. And, so their market could grow. So actually, Alan Goodman was like one of the
No,
producers.
wait. Alan Hunter or Mark Goodman? Or
No, there
you
was
mean
an Alan Goodman.
no shit, huh?
Yeah, he was. This guy was like one of the producers in that to help with that campaign. So I thought that was kind of interesting. And when you hear the song from Dire Straits, "Money for Nothing," you hear that, I want my MTV.
Wow.
That's Sting.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, I had no idea. Sting actually does that vocal.
No
So that's
shit.
in his song. Yeah, I had no idea. So all these years, I always thought it was Mark Knucklefinger, whatever his name is, Eaglehoffer,
I
Knopfler, something like
I
that from Dire Straits.
I can't name a single member of Dire Straits.
Yeah, that's all I know. It's Mark something, and I
Mark
always thought it was him.
Mark Fingerbanger.
Yeah,
And no,
yeah.
cut that out.
Actually, no, it's gonna say. I'll fix it, but it'll say.
I'm sorry, Mr. Dire Straits individual. I don't actually know your name. You have good
So,
songs though.
Money for Nothing, Walk of Life, Brothers in Arms. That's it.
Yes.
Sultans of Swing. I can't stand Sultans of Swing. God, I could fucking
Ah,
kick the
what the
stereo right out of the fucking dashboard. I can't stand it.
All right, well, there goes that guest.
Mark Nickelbanger isn't coming in.
Nickelbanger. You didn't the whole point of MTV was to target a teen audience because I think that's when they realized that the teens was could potentially be a profitable audience. No shit.
Well, you're right. I mean, who's going out buying albums? Not mom and dad, the kids were. And it's like that goes all the way back, going to Beatles and Elvis and all that. It's the kids.
The guy's name that started it is Robert W. Pittman. I don't know what that guy does now. If
Yeah.
he's dead or not, I don't know. But he is the guy who started MTV. The guy that says, "Ladies and gentlemen, rock and roll," which is the first words ever spoken on MTV. That guy's name is John Lack, and he was the executive VP of Warner Communications, and that is the parent company. One thing I found out is that do you remember? And they showed it for like ever. The space shuttle footage.
Yeah. Yeah.
They always cut in, and it's always different colors, and they would always do like crazy ass edits and stuff like that with the space shuttle. That was the space shuttle Columbia, which launched in 1981, and that's why they used it. That's the first space shuttle ever.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and it launched the same year as MTV launched. That's why they were doing the Moon Men for the VMAs. That's why they had that whole space thing going on.
Yeah.
They kept doing that. They wanted to use One Small Step. That's One Small Step for Man.
Right.
But I think they didn't want to. I think Neil Armstrong either actually has that. He was like the owner of that or something.
Huh.
He's smart. I guess they didn't want to pay royalties every time they used it, so they didn't.
Yeah.
They used the space shuttle footage until until the Challenger in January of '86. Then they stopped using the space shuttle.
Right.
But that's where all that came from, which was good to know. If you've never seen MTV, you have no idea what we're talking about. Well, I don't know. I have no. Are they even still on the air? They're still on the air.
They gotta be, and that's the thing. Yeah.
When researching this episode, I was able to see like chronologically like the things that happened with MTV, and you can like pinpoint where I checked out. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, right here, I stopped. I'm done. I'm
Yeah.
out. It just got real stupid. There's less and less music and more shows.
Right.
But the shows were profitable, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. So, Dial MTV, February 17th, 1986, went to June of 91.
You got the dates. That was. I got good memories of that show. Running off the school bus. Remember my yard? Running down the yard and into the front door, up the stairs, running into my bedroom, picking up my Corvette phone. and hitting the numbers 1-800-342-5688 1-800-342-5688 over and over. I still remember it. I got these. I got this thing with phone numbers. I don't know what it is. They just stick in my head.
Yeah.
And I'd vote for whatever Kiss video happened to be on the countdown at that point. But so that's probably well into Dial MTV's life. You said it started when? 86, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably not then.
But
Probably.
it was they were a half hour to an hour long during the weekday.
Yeah.
The one thing that I also found out was there was the crew rule.
Oh,
The crew.
I heard about the crew rule. Yeah,
Yeah.
Which was, I mean, good for them. That's fucking badass.
Yeah.
Considering it was voted on by watchers or whatever, the audience.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But then for Def Leppard's Pour Some Sugar on Me, they kind of threw that rule back out the window.
Right. Well, that's because Home Sweet Home was number one for over 90 days.
90 days, yeah.
Yeah. And then I think they probably said, all right, we got to give someone else a chance, or at least change up our show, because it probably was like, oh, okay, it's Home Sweet Home another day. There's no more surprise. You know?
Right.
So they changed it
And
to
then
what?
it was like no, you can't go over like 30 days.
Yeah.
And then, Pour Some Sugar on Me comes on. It's like, well, okay, let it go 10 fucking weeks.
I got to tell you, Pour Some Sugar, Def Leppard, who basically fucking ruled that show, from my perspective, ruled that show. I was never a Def Leppard fan. I don't know what. I mean, I liked them, but I was like, here we go, fucking Def Leppard again. Now I'm older. I think Phil Collins has one of the best guitar tones I've ever heard in my life. But that's
there was a lot that I heard before Steve Clark had passed.
Yeah.
That he did a lot of the guitar. Jeez, I can't even think of the word.
Playing.
Yeah, he played a lot.
Right.
No, but it was like just the whole guitar sound and all that, and the way like guitar harmonies and stuff. He was the one who did a lot of that.
Yeah.
For them then.
I don't know much about Def Leppard history, but I know I appreciate them more now than I did then. I'm still not like listening to them every day, but they were like, there was always a Def Leppard song on the countdown. It was always in the top
Hysteria album was enormous. I think there was like out of 12 songs, 6 of them were huge singles. It's like half the album was on MTV. You had Pour Some Sugar, Animal, Hysteria, Rocket, something else. I mean, there's 4. I think there were still yet 2 others. But yeah, they were on big time for sure.
There was a lot of Def Leppard.
Yeah.
So that's why I'd run off the bus and vote for Kiss, because, well, I don't even know if they were number one for anything, but I would have been voting for something off of Crazy Nights probably, and then something off of Hot in the Shade. I never saw it. They hardly ever played them, anyways. But Forever did have a good showing on Dial MTV.
Yeah, that one. And what was the other one there?
Which one?
Johnny is in the lyrics.
Johnny, hide your heart.
Yeah, that
Uh,
that was on Forever. Definitely was on quite a bit.
you remember
Uh,
fucking the Adam Curry, the host?
yeah,
And with he had like the most perfect hair.
that big feathered, mullety,
Oh, it was
awesome hair. Yeah.
yeah, it was all sprayed, teased. Probably sat in the chair for like 3 hours. Let's get him on. Adam
Yeah.
Curry. I'm like,
Actually, you know what Adam Curry did do is in the very beginning of the World Wide Webs.
hey, listen, I'm mouth breathing here because I got a stuffy nose, so I'm just throwing that out there. I can't fucking breathe.
Okay.
Uh,
so
Adam Curry.
so when the World Wide Web was starting,
Uh huh. Are
he actually was thinking way ahead.
you talking about the internet?
The internet's.
Yeah.
He was thinking ahead. He ended up purchasing the domain MTV.com. And he had the thought that,
He did that.
yeah. And his thought was that he would give MTV the presence on the internet and he would be the voice of it. So it was almost like he was kind of starting to do this thing on his own. MTV, yeah, no, you're not. And lawsuit, settled out of court.
Well, wait a minute. If he's the owner of MTV.com, he owns it fair and square.
Right. But they sued over all that and what he was going to start doing. And I didn't really do my homework and all that, but it ended up settling out of court and stuff because it's like, yeah, no, you're not going to do that.
Huh.
So that I thought was pretty crazy.
Yeah, I didn't.
And that was in like 93. And, I didn't even know what the internet's was.
You remember? We're gonna derail, but do you remember the first? I remember the first website I ever went on. I thought you were gonna say.
.com.
I thought you were gonna say something stupid. No, it was www.id4.com. It was for Independence Day, the movie.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. That's the very first website I ever went on. So I don't know what year that movie came out, but that's.
I don't know how. Oh, I remember my cousin with the old internet, and he had it, and
He had
we
the
pulled up.
he had the
He
internet.
had, yeah, and it was something about searching like some like naked woman or something like that.
Naked ladies.
Yeah,
Enter.
it took like an hour and a half for it to appear on the screen.
45 minutes. The pictures.
Oh my god, how horrible! Just horrible.
But it finally got on the screen, and you were like, "Wow,
Great. She has clothes on. We got lied to.
shit!" Then back out and try another picture.
Yeah, and then he just walked away. He didn't have that kind of time.
Yeah,
Because we were too busy being outside.
or looking at magazines. You don't have to wait for a picture to load there.
No. So videos were definitely a big part of our lives, for sure. For the exposure of these bands. I don't think half of these bands would be who they are if they didn't have them. There was always that formula in all the hair metal bands that you had to have the girls. So you had to have the hot girls and,
Chick,
cars and live performance, big stages, enormous stages.
that's the best. I don't know.
You
I
know?
love that. I love a big ass stage, big production.
If you look at Nothing But a Good Time, that stage is huge for these four little guys. It's just ridiculous.
This is rock and roll. This is what it's all about. This is about larger than life. It's about putting on a production. It's about big lights, big massive fucking drum kits. Fucking Alex Van Halen had what, 4 kick drums? You only got 2 feet.
Yeah, I know. I'm sure I only used one.
You know what I mean? It's I for me personally. Now that's why I think we get on the way we do. We like the music and we want something different from it. I've always been into bands that were really into image, into giving me something other than the music. I can put in the tape,
Right.
and listen to the shit. If I'm going to go see you, what else you got? What else are you bringing to the table? Do you know what I mean? Don't just stand there. Let me see a show.
Right.
And that's how I've been. But we've known forever. We listen to songs completely differently. You hear a song,
Oh yeah, that's for sure.
when you hear a song, you get something completely different than I would get out of the exact same song. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For me, it's not. I don't know. Does the music sound good? Does it sound cool? Does it all mesh? Yeah, it's got a nice rhythm. All right, I like it. I don't. The subject matter doesn't matter as much to me. The lyrics. I listen to the lyrics second. I listen to the music first. I mean, that's just kind of how I am.
Yeah, and that's I do obviously like I mean I listen to the music, I hear it. I don't listen to it. And then the words, and if the words are just super stupid, cheesy, it's like, nope, done. Not listening to it. And the music could be fucking insane, but it's just like I can't, just too corny.
I can get past corny. Well, Nothing But a Good Time, for example. The song is just that. It's just a party song. It's about having a good time.
Right, and that's okay. I'm more like on the choice of words.
Oh
Like
yeah,
if more of that, like if he was sitting there saying, something about nothing but a good time, eating popcorn, it'd be like, why? Why are you throwing popcorn in there, dude?
yeah,
Just corny words or
yeah.
wordage and stuff
Okay,
that I'm out. And there's a lot of songs if you really listen to it, it's like, yeah, I don't know. That's dumb. You could have done better.
yeah. Yeah. Okay, I can agree with that. I can agree with that.
Yeah.
There's some
Yeah,
stuff that's
that's
just
where I have an issue.
flat out stupid. But no, it's the videos. I mean, how many hours did you watch MTV hoping for one particular video to come on? And it
Well,
either never
yeah, right.
it never came on, or they're playing a bunch of shit that you don't care about.
Yeah.
But I think there's videos that no, I think I started watching like when they started dividing shit into shows. Like not shows like the real world and shit like that. I'm talking about shows for videos. Like they had 120 minutes. Do you remember
It's
that?
funny. I was thinking of that one. Yeah.
Yeah. And then they, of course, Headbangers Ball, where they'd only show the heavy shit at like midnight on Saturday. Yo MTV Rap started. Dance Club MTV or whatever it was called, Club MTV,
Yeah. Club MTV.
where they would play a lot of the dance music. So they started like really separating things into shows. But there was regular programming where they would just show random shit. And it was always, you'd never see anything heavy. You would never see like King Diamond at 4 p.m.
Well, no, and that even crosses over to your radio too, to where you wouldn't hear that stuff during the day on the radio because you were in the workplace or in the car and stuff. It'd be like later at night to where you're going to hear the more obscure stuff.
No, but I did hear, you'd hear the obscure stuff on things like Headbangers Ball. But I heard, you would hear Girls, 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 or you would hear Wild Side. You would hear all the Poison stuff. You'd hear.
I think stuff like that because it was requested on the dial MTV or whatever. So it's like, okay, well, we have to put that out because they do want that.
People
But
want it, yeah.
yeah, during the prime time, you're not listening. Crocus ain't going to be on, or Accept isn't going to be on. Nothing like that.
Crocus.
Yeah.
Name a Crocus song.
No.
I don't
Nothing.
know. I got nothing off the top of my head. Screaming in the Night.
Nope. I don't
Come
know.
on.
Isn't
You don't know that
crocus
song?
a flower? It's a little stupid flower.
I have no idea.
It's a weedy flower, a little purple, I think.
Is it?
I think so. But as we're talking about videos,
Videos, yeah. Did they had a video for it, I think.
yeah, never watched it.
But you watched Headbangers Ball.
Sure did.
So who was the first? Do you remember this guy? The first host of Headbangers Ball,
I can't fucking recall.
Kevin Seal.
It was like,
Kevin
oh yeah,
Seal. Remember that fucking
yeah.
guy?
Oh my god, yeah, exactly.
I don't think he was the right guy for the job.
No, a good thing Ricky Ratchman came in. Ricky Rockman.
Yeah, but he came in. Ricky Rackman
Yeah,
came
he
in.
was definitely a bit later.
That was yeah. Well, I had somewhere around here, I have a VHS tape of a couple of Headbangers Ball episodes I taped. I think Ace Frehley was on one of them with when he was doing Fraley's Comet. I taped the whole, so I got the whole episode with commercials. Somewhere I got the tape
Yeah,
on here, and I think it was Adam Curry as the host.
yeah, I do know Adam Curry was on there too. Um, I don't know when, because I don't know how I got introduced to it. I think there was this kid Justin that was in school, and it had to be him. So I think that maybe that was because when did Headbangers Ball start?
87.
And he said, "Well, so then yeah, so that's got to be it." Because we were in sixth grade is when I kind of met that kid, and he was into you know a lot more. He was big time King Diamond. And
I
all
know
that.
I know who you're talking about, and he's the one that introduced me to King Diamond at the time. He was
Yeah.
like King Diamond's PR guy, I think. But
But
he's
yeah,
like
that's how I got into Headbangers Ball. I had no idea
I totally
about it.
I dismissed King Diamond. I didn't like him at all. Now I love him. I think he's fucking fantastic. At the time I didn't like him one
Yeah.
bit. He's got one of those voices. You're either gonna like it or you're not gonna like it.
Right. And
I think he's great though now.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I don't remember ever personally watching it other than taping a couple of episodes. I didn't really start watching it religiously until Ricky Rackman was the host.
Yeah, that's probably more me also.
Yeah. And then they started doing do you remember it being 3 hours? I remember it being 3 hours. I wouldn't stay up, but I would set the VCR, I'd record the fucking show. It would start at midnight and it would be done at 3 a.m.
I remember there's times I've set the VCR to record, and wake up the next day, and it's like,
Still recording?
no, it didn't record. I don't know why. Or tape somehow ran out because it was set at the wrong speed. You had EP, LP, SLP.
SLP
And
is what you do.
And I had no idea what to put it at. And all of a sudden it was like, oh, wow. So I got 20 minutes of Headbangers Ball, like one time. It was just like all of a sudden in the middle of the video, done.
Extended play,
Things started
long play.
rewinding. Yeah.
Extended play, long play, and super long play. You always set it to SLP because
Oh, we don't have to anymore.
yeah, I know. But that was your longest. It would get like, I don't know, like 8 hours on the damn tape.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know what the hell happened. It must have been at the wrong setting. And yeah, I remember that one time, like, oh, yes, I'm going to sit down. I'm going to watch it. And I put it in, and it was like, I saw like 6 videos, and it ended. Tape started to rewind. Oh,
I loved watching. I love taping it more because you could fast forward through the shit you don't want to watch because they did show some shit that I didn't like. I can't think of anything offhand, but I'd fast forward through a lot of it. The commercials. Now I'd go back and watch the commercials. Now you can find blocks of commercials on YouTube.
yeah.
Because they don't show commercials.
The videos.
Uh-huh.
The videos. Our videos.
Our personal top 10, our personal most influential.
Yeah.
How many times did you write this list? How many times did you re-rank it? Because I did it 3 times before. And you know what the funny thing is I think if you ask me tomorrow, it'll be different.
I honestly was having a really hard time with this. And to tell you the truth, sitting here right now, I still am. And I have these videos on here, and there's really odd reasons as to why I have them on here. And yeah, it's very, very different.
Different than what?
The videos are very different.
Than what I would expect.
As to why I have them, yeah.
Uh, I think I had to choose. Well, we didn't want it to run too long. We were going to do 10, and then we were like, oh, let's do 7 to be weird. But, we'll just do the 10, I guess. But I had a list, I think, of like 20, and then it's like, which ones do I eliminate? And I'm like, well, why was it important? Like, I tried to do it off the top of my head because if I can remember the shit, then it must have been somewhat important, right?
Right.
So I got 10 out of the thing, and I put them in order, 3 times. I crossed it out and then rewrote and crossed it out and rewrote. This one should go here, that one should go there. But if you ask me tomorrow, it's going to be different. It'd probably be different too. So
And
it's,
I'm sure same on my end. Um, it,
I,
it just
I think my number one would always remain the same, but the others could swap around at any given time. I don't know. All right. So who's starting? Who's starting the list?
well, yeah, go ahead because I gotta just
You're going to write
yeah,
down my
wait.
list?
No. I gotta put these other two on here. Let's see. Okay,
Jesus.
there it is. So I got my list is done.
You just did it now.
Yeah, I just finished it because I really had a very hard time with it.
So Tom had a very tough time with this. He was crying. He needed to be consoled. His wife had to hold him.
She's like, "Come here, let me hold you."
Get over here. So I'll start it. Number 10. I'm going to go with Thriller. Believe it or not,
Yeah.
1983. Did I see it when it aired in 1983? No, not at all. But I mean, that song was in heavy rotation all the time.
Right.
There's like 9 different versions of the video. But the thing I remember was, first of all, it was like a fucking 15-minute video.
Mm.
The production on it. And then I remember the making of. So whenever that aired, I think must have been when I saw it. And it was cool because it showed all the prosthetics and things that went onto Michael Jackson's face and all the shit that went into making the video and the effects. And it was kind of like a horror movie a little bit. Had the stupid disclaimer at the beginning. It was like, oh, I don't believe in
Oh
the
yeah,
occult.
yeah,
Remember?
yeah.
Like, all right, whatever. The song, it's obviously very iconic. The video definitely had a lasting impact. A little bit scary for a kid. It was
Hmm.
just cool as hell.
Well, I mean, fucking Vincent Price.
Vincent Price, yeah, he's the one that I think he wanted. It was like a choice. He could be paid by having a cut of the song's proceeds or a flat rate, and I think he chose the flat rate, which was ended up being like nothing compared to what it could have been had he
Oh
taken the
yeah,
other choice. But nonetheless, he did fine for himself.
yeah.
Song is fantastic. The video
Because
is
he
great
ended
too.
up doing. He does the line in Number of the Beast too, right? From Iron Maiden.
No,
That's not him.
that's not him.
I thought it was.
In the beginning,
Yeah.
no. I don't know who that is, but that's not Vincent Price. His voice is
No?
so iconic.
I thought it was.
I mean, I
And
could
I'm just
Google it.
thinking now.
Yeah, no, that's not him.
I put it on the giggles.
I mean, I could.
Giggle it.
You want me to?
I mean, you can
All right, hold on.
cut it if we have to.
All right, if it takes too long. Okay. Oh, for Christ's sakes. The guy's name is Barry Clayton.
See, I said it wasn't him.
Yeah,
All right.
it is not Vincent Price. It's Barry Clayton. Whoever.
Marvin Berry.
Your cousin? All right, so you're number 10. Tommy.
All right, so you got really into it, and like I said, this is going to be very different from obviously from your list to my list,
Well, look, this is the
but
point
even
of
the
this.
explanation.
And then
Kicks.
go ahead. Kicks?
Kicks. Don't close your eyes.
All right.
And
I
I'm
love
gonna
that song.
say-
though. I love that song.
It's because I discovered that song, and you just never heard it. So whenever that video came on, it was like, oh wow, yes, like that's pretty much it. It was a great song, and I just always was looking for the video to come on, and it was nowhere near overplayed.
No, and it could have
So
been. Well,
yeah,
they're one of those bands, so we should have an episode if you want to talk about that. Great band, bad timing, I think.
right,
And
right. I mean, they were there. Actually, Kicks came out in like '79. Believe
no
it or
shit.
not. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I had looked them up once way back and was like, yeah, 78, 79, something like that. So I don't really know any of their backstory, but
Well, I don't know anything about
I
them.
did see that, you know. But yeah, Don't Close Your Eyes. It was just like, dude, that song is so good. And that was like the only Kicks song I really got into at the time.
Blow My
I still
Fuse is a
haven't
good song.
actually Cold Blood. I love that song.
I thought they
That
kind
song
of
is
sounded
really
like,
good.
yeah, they were kind of bluesy a little bit. They were like, almost like
Yeah.
Cinderella.
Yeah, a little bit of that.
Don't Close Your Eyes is always a great song.
Yeah. So, Kicks, Don't Close Your Eyes is my number 10 today.
All right, moving right along. My number 9, You Could Be Mine, GNR, 1991. That song was, I mean, the video was heavily played.
Yeah, oh yeah.
It was on heavy rotation. But because it was basically the theme for Terminator 2, and I was, huge into that movie, me and a friend of mine saw that movie in the theater 4 times in 2 different states. Johnson. That
Yeah.
that was, loved it. So that song equals that movie for me. So I look forward to that video coming on all the time. I love the song. It's a great song. It
is good.
It did
It's
get
weird.
overplayed.
That song, it definitely did. But
Yeah.
that song, actually, once I got those albums and I listened to them, I'm going, wow, this song really, for some reason, has a whole different vibe than the rest of the album.
It does.
I don't know if it's because of the video. It's almost like it doesn't belong on that album.
There's some numbers of songs on that album. The 2 of them.
And we'll definitely have to do something on that ship.
Well, yeah, we will, because that album, among so many other masterpieces, were released in 1991. It's like, so we either got to cover the record or cover the year, or I don't know. But You Could Be Mine. I want to point out Slash using his BC Rich Mockingbird in that video, and that was
that too.
That was a big selling point for me, because I loved the BC Riches at the time. I still do. They're great guitars.
And I looked at that like, what is he got that for?
He got that.
I looked at it.
He got that because it was custom made for him. Yeah, that's why.
But he had one. I think there's a photo of him way back. He had an old brown wood grained one.
Koa wood
when he was younger.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, and he's been seen with Warlocks and the Mockingbird guitars, and they're great guitars, and it looked great. He still uses that to this day. He still uses those guitars occasionally on 1 or 2 songs. I don't know, but yeah, number 9, You Could Be Mine, GNR.
All right, so mine. I have number 9, Born to Be My Baby, Bon Jovi.
Oh, all right.
So I think there was a lot, like that song itself too. It just, the 2, 3, 4, na 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 na, they go into it and stuff. It was such an upbeat song. I really think, like, that video, they're in the recording studio, and the original one that wasn't cut, if you watch that video, they're screwing around in the studio. And the whole first verse is when they show like Tico at the drums, they zero
Tico
in,
Torres.
Right. And they zero in on more his drums. His drums come forefront. And then when you go to like Alec John Such, and his bass comes up front. And then Richie Sambora, and then even Brian I forgot his last name, that does the keyboards. Like each band member, when the camera's on them, their instrument comes forward. And I thought that was really cool too. And it just gave that in the studio feel, which I almost wonder, which I didn't look up, if that video was recorded when they actually recorded the song. I don't know. It looks it, but that was one that I really liked.
I gotta say, I don't know that video off the top of my head.
It was black and white.
I'm sure I
And,
saw it. I
Yeah,
don't.
definitely. But yeah, if you rewatch it, and there's that whole beginning to where they just quick for like a couple seconds, and it's like bam, 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 psh, psh, okay, and then John steps up to the mic and he just yells,
John.
2, 3, 4, hit my buddy,
Right.
and he gave me these. It was off of
After he shot that video.
yeah, no, this goes back to like a 78,000 degrees Fahrenheit album. So that's my number 9. Born to Be My Baby, Bon Jovi, New Jersey.
It's a good song. Number 8, my number 8. We've touched on it. I got to mention it because for the reasons we touched on, Nothing But a Good Time by Poison. Video came out in 88. And it was for that very reason. Huge stage, like tons of lights. It just looked like an absolute blast. The guys washing the fucking dishes in the beginning, and he's like, "Hey, I'm paying you to wash dishes, not to listen to that rock and roll.
You
Right?
move in 2 gears, slow and stop.
So either get your butt in gear or you're out of here. Get it?"
Get it?
and he slams the fucking dish towel down, kicks the door open, and there's this massive.
Hold on, you missed the part where he cranks up the radio and it's rock and roll all night, right?
It is rock and roll all night, but as performed by Poison. That's Poison.
Oh, all right. Yeah.
That's Poison doing that song. Now that guy right there, I want to point out that actor is the same actor. The same.
Wait, hang on.
Go ahead.
Skid Row's 18 in Life?
Wrong.
Oh, all right. I that was just coming out of my head right now.
All right. Yeah, no.
Anyway.
You're All I Need, Motley Crue. The same guy.
See, I didn't really, I mean, I watched the video, but I obviously, because it was banned, I didn't watch it enough.
You're All I Need was a video I never saw until YouTube became a thing.
Right.
It's a pretty dark concept, especially in the era of power ballads and shit like that.
Very, very awesome song. Here's the other thing. So when we were talking about it at the beginning of MTV and stuff, there were all these other channels that were starting to kind of mimic MTV.
Are you talking about Much Music?
No. So actually, I know we're kind of going off here, but just to go back, there were these other shows, like HBO had Video Jukebox, and they'd have it on for like a half hour, and they'd play stuff. Cinemax, Showtime, Movie Channel.
We had HBO, and we never paid for
Horrible Body Odor.
Human Body Odor. Do you have HBO? Yeah. It was Channel 17. We never paid for it. I don't know. Somehow my dad figured out how to fucking steal it. Shit. I'm going to get a bill. Cut that out. Edit that out. I'm going to get a bill.
Playboy channel actually had
we didn't get that
something and I guess they played videos, and they played uncensored videos. So, because there was a lot of videos that were censored or banned.
It's the Playboy channel.
And Playboy played them. So, Home Sweet Home, there was a censored version of it, I thought, right? Was it that one? And
because he's kissing the posters of the naked ladies. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So they
would block out the titties. Yeah.
Right. So the uncensored versions were played on Playboy, apparently. So
Really?
I'm sure You're All I Need would have been on Playboy.
Yeah.
So that was your what? Number 8.
You're All I Need was not my number 8. Nothing But a Good Time was my number 8.
Right.
Like I said, I never saw You're All I Need until YouTube became a thing.
Yeah.
But go check it out. It's a great video and song.
For sure. So you were at number 7.
Yes. No, you are going to do, yeah.
Yeah, I'm doing my 7. So this is the one that I realized watching these videos. I always had this one video in my mind, which I kind of crisscrossed everything, and my own personal history is absolutely wrong. So when I was younger, I remember a video on, and to me, being very, very young, it was like softcore porn to me, seeing hot girls and their clothes just about coming off in negligee.
In the teddy.
Yeah. For some reason, I always thought it was Shake It Up by the Cars. And I have to actually announce that last night I found out I'm absolutely wrong. The song is Centerfold by Jay Giles Band. And it hit me when I was watching Shake It Up, and I go,
You're like, this ain't the
this
video I
isn't
remember.
it.
Yeah.
Like, right. And I'm like, I remember in a classroom, in school, and this and that. And I said, oh boy, hang on a second. So I put up Centerfold, and there it is. So that to me, when I was whatever the fuck old, very little old,
Dude, that
was like,
song, I'm
that
sure
was
you
like
saw it.
softcore porn to me.
I can't think of that video offhand, but that was, when the hell did that song come out? That had to be early.
Oh, yeah. Between 81 and 84, somewhere there.
Yeah.
And yeah, I remember watching that video when I was yay big, being yay big. Like, whoa, I should be watching this.
I don't remember.
I watched it last night and I felt the same way. Like,
well, now you got
no.
YouTube. You can pause it and it's clear.
Yeah, no, it's all remastered. Yeah, it looks great.
Well, you couldn't pause things on your VCR. You could pause it, but you got the lines, unless you had a 4-head VCR. And then you could pause
But
it.
no,
and it
in
would be
my
clear.
mind, I was like, click, click,
Right.
click, 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 click. So I did a lot of that. But yeah, so that is my number 7 because that was like one of the oldest videos I do recall. And it was like, it was porn to me.
I can't picture. I'll have to look at that.
Yeah, definitely.
Good song though. So my number 7 came out in 1991. That is "God Gave Rock and Roll to You" by Kiss. That video was an important video to me because it's the last video that featured Eric Carr, the drummer, who had cancer and died shortly after. So he's playing the drums in the video, but he's not on the. What you hear is not him playing the drums. It's actually Eric Singer, his soon-to-be replacement.
Yeah.
He's wearing a wig in that video because the chemotherapy had taken his hair.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah. And I want to point out that Gene Simmons is using a badass Warlock bass that I've never seen him use before or since. Not that I can think of. And it's cut with footage from the band's career up to that point. And it's just a great video. It's a good song. It was for the Bill and Ted's sequel, Bill and Ted Bogus Journey.
Yeah.
That movie came out in 91. It is Eric Carr singing and the breakdown, doing the harmony part with Paul Stanley. And it did get it got played, not as often as
Yeah, I do remember it,
Yeah, not as often as like Def Leppard would have been played, but
Yeah.
Bruce had a really cool Les Paul. I remember the paint job being really cool. It's like a bluish purple type of color. Good song, a great video. So it's important to me for that reason.
Yeah.
All
right. So did we mess up our numbers? Because I did 7, 8, and 9. 7, 8, 9, 10.
Yeah, I just said my 7.
Yeah.
So you're going to say my 7 has got. So I did Thriller, You Could Be Mine, Nothing But a Good Time, and God Gave Rock and Roll. That was 10, 9, 8, 7.
Oh, all right.
So you're gonna do your number 6, yeah. But I feel like I started with Thriller.
Well, that's why I'm saying you started and now I'm starting. That's why I'm trying to figure out what went on.
Well, somewhere it got, I don't know, somewhere it got fucked
Yeah.
up, but as long as nothing got repeated, which I don't think
Yeah,
it
yeah.
did, then
No.
go ahead. Go, what's your 6 then?
All right. So my number 6 video is Wild Side by Matale Crow.
Now, that one I do remember, and I do have, it's not on my list, but yeah, go ahead.
It's on my list for a few different reasons. First off, like you said in last episode, that shit was heavy. Very heavy song.
For me, it was, and well, I know Gross 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 came out in 87, so that would put me at 10 years old. When he said
Yeah.
kicking ass on the wild side at the end, I was like, oh, I just thought it was like,
Bad words!
right. I was like, wow, this is some naughty shit.
Turn the knob down. Don't
Right.
mama here. But no, that's on my list here because aside from it heavy, the very first thing is, dude, Tommy Lee's kit comes up and out and rolls. I mean, when did you ever see that?
Yeah, that's badass.
You know? So the very first time I ever seen that video, I was at my cousin's house, and my cousin Brett had seen that tour, and when it came on, and I don't know, maybe it world premiered or something like that, but I remember being him like calling everybody out into the room, going like, "This is what I saw."
Hey, everyone, gather round.
Yeah,
Right,
we're
because you couldn't pull up the show on YouTube, and
right. So
Right.
we were all sitting there watching it, and then I think also the way they put it together, it had a live feel and a live sound because of the audience in there and all that. And then I think when they put the pyro in there, I rather that because it sounds so much louder than the freaking little pow, pow at the end of the song, the couple of gunshots.
yeah, because they use
whoa.
the audio from the pyro, yeah, which was cool.
Yeah, so
It's a badass video.
And it is, and then of course, the couple of crew girls that dance and stuff too. But
I like the way the video
it's
starts.
like,
When Vince is like, he's looking at the camera, he's like, "Let's go," and then it starts with the Mick Mars with the little dive there.
well, and that too. There's all that, a lot of videos in that period, and I'm going to mention it a little bit later too. Is the whole thing of it captures that live feel of what it was then at concerts, and just the time period and everything. That's how it was.
I can tell you that because I go to a lot of shows, and going to concerts now is way different. Is a totally different experience than going to concerts even, I don't know, 20 years ago.
And that's aside from age.
No, it's definitely aside from age.
Yeah,
it's a different experience now. It's
very.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess that's a topic for a different. It's not like Motley Crue in 1987. You go see Motley Crue now, it's not going to be like that.
No, exactly. No, not at all.
So, but that's a great fucking song and a great
Wild
video.
Side, Matale Crow.
Motley.
Number
Motley.
6.
Number 6.
Motley, yes.
Motley. Number 6. My number 6. 18 and Life. Skid Row. 1989.
Junior high school.
That video, I think, was one of the first times I watched a video and was like, wow, this is a serious subject matter. You know what I mean? It was like,
Right.
This is not about partying. This is not about, hot chicks and stuff. Like, he's fighting with this old man in the video and he throws him through the door.
Yeah.
It's pretty heavy shit. I don't know. I thought it was like fucking wow. I just, at the end of the video, I just remember being like, wow, what the fuck was that?
And then it's fucking Sebastian Bach and his vocals anyway.
The guy was, I don't know how he does now, but I know back then it was amazing. I feel like that guy's always on 10. Like he's just always like, he's got like 10 times the amount of energy I have. Always. He's just always insane. Maybe that's why it don't work out between them. I don't know. But that song and the video, he's shooting his fucking friend.
Yeah.
It's just crazy. It just wasn't about that at that time.
Right.
It's not the shit I saw. So stuck with me. 18 and
Definitely a good one. And I had that in mind, but that didn't
make your list. All right.
No. So number 5s. We're on our number 5s.
Right. How did I don't I don't understand how I started and now you're
Right.
going.
That's what I don't. That's why I feel lost. But
I don't know. We got fucked up somewhere.
all
So
right. So number
you're
five.
you're number 5. Go ahead,
My
Tommy.
number five is going to be "Smells Like Teen Spirit" by Nirvana off the Nevermind album.
I think I've seen that one.
Yeah. All right. So my number four.
No, hey, you can't just skip over.
No. So I mean, there is definitely obvious reasons why it's even on my list, but the that was obviously all the people during that time period. For the most part, that was their introduction to them, and it was a very different video compared to everything else that was out there. And that I remember seeing on the Headbangers Ball. I remember watching Chris and Kurt on Headbangers Ball before that video was played.
Is that
And
when Kurt had the big yellow ball gown?
yeah, and
Yeah,
I
I saw that too.
I was actually not. All right, maybe I was recording it, but I was still up.
No, I was up. I remember seeing that. I'm like, who the fuck are these guys?
And that's exactly it. I was just like, yep, this is going to be stupid.
Yeah.
And then about 5 minutes later, I was like, yep, I got to find that album.
And you know what? The funny thing was, 5 minutes later, I was like, yep, that was stupid. It's funny. It's got a different,
Right.
effect.
Well, the
Cultural-
other part of that,
Cultural phenomenon, no
Yeah.
doubt. But yeah.
the other part of that video, I really like. So you start getting into those 90s videos, and it was steering away from the girls and all that stuff. But that video had the cheerleaders, the Anarchy cheerleaders.
Yeah, but they were gross looking. They were supposed to be gross looking.
But the one where right after his solo ends and she's sitting there doing this, dude, the girl's so hot. I don't even know what her face looks like, but it was just
How do you know
the
she's
body.
hot?
The body. I just added the face, I guess, but
It was a dude. It was a dude.
It was hot. It was.
It was a look. I didn't.
Can't say dude.
You can't.
No.
I didn't analyze that video the way you did. I know for a fact it did not have the effect on me that it did have on most of the other listening audience. But I'll never take away what it has accomplished. But I did not come to like it until later. That song in particular, even other songs on Nevermind, I thought were much better than that song.
Right, right.
But that happened to be the single. That was the one that took off.
Yeah, and I mean, again, that was my introduction. I think it was just so kind of like very in your face, and his
it was
raspy vocals. I really love vocals like that.
Yeah, it was meant to be the antithesis to what was being shoved down all our throats at the time.
Right.
And it was good to ruffle the feathers of the establishment the way that it did. Do you know what I mean? We needed that. It needed that.
Right.
We were on a formula.
Reasons.
Yeah, we were on a formula that was just so dead and so stale. So it's a good thing.
So Smells Like Teen Spirit, number 5 for me.
You may have heard of it. My number 5. It's a big production video. It's another long video. But I feel it remains to this day this band's best song in their entire catalog, and still probably one of the coolest videos I've seen, and that is "Estranged" by Guns N' Roses, 1993.
So boring.
No, that song is amazing. It was part of that trilogy there with "Don't Cry" and "November Rain," right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
"Estranged" is a 9 minute. 9-minute song, I think.
Yeah, like
Uh,
9.5 ish.
MTV would play the entire video because GNR was basically ruling the world at that time. They would cut longer videos down. They would play segments, but they would play that whole fucking thing. The song is great. The video is great. That is a song. If you ever think about it, "Estranged" is a song that has no chorus.
Right.
There's no chorus.
No, exactly.
I still feel like it's their best song, and for the time period, the special effects in that song are just weird. Like Slash, I think for me, he has a way of just make that first time he comes in after Axel sings.
Yeah.
He has a way of making that guitar cry. It sounds great. I just really like that. They just nailed it. That song is just, they nailed
Absolutely.
it. Estranged, 1993. Check it out.
Yeah.
Check
Once
it
or
out.
twice. All right.
All right,
So
T-Bone.
we're on number fours. My number 4 is "I Won't Forget You" by Poison off the "Look What the Cat Dragged In" album.
And I want to point out that Tom has ranked "I Won't Forget You" by Poison above Nirvana "Smells Like Teen Spirit."
So I did because that one was out a lot longer, and the problem with it being out a lot longer, I always looked forward to seeing that video. Like "Smells Like Teen Spirit," I went out and bought the album shortly after.
You didn't have
So
to
I
look forward
had
to
it.
seeing that because it was always on.
But "I Won't Forget You," I always wanted to see it. I love the song. I don't know, when CC comes in with his that intro.
When he's talking to his girlfriend on the phone, he's like, "All right, yeah, all right,
Okay, yeah. "I won't forget you too."
I won't forget you too,
Who
bitch.
has a phone call like that? Nobody does that. Yeah. I'll be home Monday. Yeah, "I won't forget you too."
Is that what he says?
He doesn't say about Monday, but he goes, "Okay, yeah, I love you," and then it's, "Yeah, I won't forget you too." And goes into it, laying on his bed, another
Right.
guitar at the foot of his bed.
And I'm like, who has his guitar plugged in like that?
Yeah. And the other part of the video, and this is another reason why this video is up there, because Ricky Rocket's fucking sweatpants that had Poison logo written down the leg of it, I loved it. I always wanted those fucking sweatpants for some reason.
He really wanted to get into Ricky Rocket's sweatpants.
But
and
no,
check out Ricky's Rocket.
Yeah. But the song, the video itself, though it's a ballad, all the partying, the concert, you got the cameos of Rat in there.
Paul Stanley.
What they were, yep. And Paul's in that like silhouette, right?
No, he's playing on stage with them. That was at some show.
Oh yeah, he did that. But no, sorry, that was Stephen Pearcy. That one. But that whole thing, and there's something with listening to that song and watching the video and all the slow-mo good times. It's almost like what you have in your mind. It's that nostalgia.
Yeah.
So it's like the concert, everybody, it was just, I think there's more of a good time in that video than the Nothing But a Good Time video. You know what I mean?
I think you get the same thing out of that video that you get out of
the song.
Yeah.
You get out of that "I Won't Forget You" video is what you get out of the song "Nothing But a Good Time."
Yeah. So they probably could have made a better video for that song if they were going to follow the story.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Right. But that video, anytime it came out, I just loved it. I loved the song. That was awesome. So "I Won't Forget You" is my number 4.
Good song. My number 4. It was my introduction to this band that had been well established at the time. It's just that I had no one that would have listened to it. So this is how I discovered this band. And number 4 is "One" by Metallica.
I knew that's where you're going into. I just had that feeling.
1989. yeah, they were obviously well established by that point, but well established by never having an MTV video,
Right.
never being played on the radio. Who the hell's going to play them? Uh, so if you're gonna,
Well,
I
they
just remember hearing that, seeing that. First of all, I thought they were just like the meanest motherfuckers I've ever seen, especially James. I'm like,
oh
this is a
yeah.
guy, So I would have been what, 12?
Right, because they were supposed to be devil worshippers, and they killed babies, and whatever other stuff like that. That's what metal and death metal and whatever
Well,
fuck they
aside,
were.
yeah, and
You
they
know,
did. And aside from doing that, they still put out great music, so I can overlook that
yeah.
that devil
But
stuff.
that's why
And
you wouldn't hear them on the radio then.
right. Well, come on, you're not going to hear one on the radio. And after Huey Lewis, they're going to play. Here's one. Actually, if you remember ever seeing one on MTV, they would always say something like, "Oh, now for something a little more lighthearted," because the video itself is just,
Well, yeah, if Johnny got his gun.
yeah, but it's depressing as hell. The guy's got he
Yeah.
can't hear, he can't see, he can't speak, he's got no arms, he's got no legs, and he's banging his head on the
Just
bed.
do the chorus again. Then do that part again.
Darkness is imprisoning him. All that he sees is absolute horror. He's banging his head, Morse code, kill me. Just keep saying kill me
Yeah.
over and over again, kill me. I'm like, fuck, that's heavy.
Right.
And of course, for me, that was the heaviest shit I've ever heard. I mean, the kick drums Lars Ulrich is doing is just, in my 12-year-old ears, just something. This is a whole other league of musicianship I had never heard up to that point. So it was
Right.
just unbelievable to me. So number 4, One by Metallica.
Number 3. We're looking at the title track off the album. And this was my introduction to really getting into like heavy, hard rock, glammy sleaze, whatever, is Girls, Girls, Girls by Matarikro. That, however the hell old I was, that there
10.
was, we were being babysat by my cousin, and she was on the phone calling her friend. Oh my God, yeah, it's coming on. Yeah, I can't wait. And I remember calling me out of my room, like, you got to check this out. Got to watch.
How'd
this.
she know it was coming out? Oh, maybe they said.
So they were already watching MTV and stuff.
Yeah.
So they knew. So I remember sitting there like, okay, and it's like they're on the phone like talking to each other like we used to, just like they're watching it together on the phone. And all of a sudden it started and the Harleys start up and everything. And then all the girls dancing. And it was like, oh my God, there's more porno on TV.
Right.
So, the song was great. That was my introduction to Motley Crue. And yeah, like, wow, another mind blowing thing on the ears and on the eyes.
Motley Crue is, they've taken up, did you have a couple of other
There
songs?
was 2. Yeah, there was that and Wild Side.
That and Wild Side, yeah. They're definitely I don't people realize what a staple they were. They were pretty much, I mean, they made that Crew Rule for Dial MTV.
Right.
It was, I mean, they were the kings of the 80s, I think, in my mind. They just fucking, they did it. They did it. So, Girls, Girls, Girls.
That's number trees.
Number 3 for me. Number 3, I saw a world premiere on the Headbangers Ball. I never saw it play anywhere but the Headbangers Ball. And then after I researched it for this epi, I learned why. But it is Unholy by Kiss, 1992. That was the first video with their new drummer, who was a blonde guy. And it was like, this fucking blonde guy in Kiss. I remember people sort of bitching about that a little bit. It was super, super heavy for them. It's a great song. It was a new look for them, definitely a new sound.
That was
Uh,
off of Revenge?
Revenge,
No.
yeah,
Oh, yeah,
yeah, yeah,
right.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
It was the lead single. Gene is doing a lead single off of an album which hadn't happened in 10 years.
Yeah.
Uh, it's an amazing song, but come to find out after researching it that there was a little bit of a uproar at MTV Studios over that video, so it only got played during Headbangers Ball. I remember it world premiering. I taped it that night. It world premiered, and I must have watched the VHS tape hundreds of times.
Yeah.
Uh, there's kids in the video and they're dancing on like a pentagram looking thing as the camera spins, and they're casting a shadow that looks like a demon, like a demonic. So it was a bit, which is uncharacteristic for Kiss, but for me, I was like, I loved it. Uh, so because of that, I guess there was some sort of uproar at MTV Studios, and they would not play it outside of Headbangers Ball. So I only remember seeing it in what was called Countdown to the Ball. Do you remember that?
Oh my God. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they would do like top 10 videos or whatever,
Yeah.
and that video would be there. That's the only time it ever got shown. It was on
Yeah.
Headbangers Ball. But Unholy by Kiss, it's great. That's my number 3. It's a great video.
All right. So number 2, and another song that has not been on the list, is "Strange" by Guns N' Roses.
Hey, we got a match. Son of a bitch.
So that's on there as my number 2. And
Go ahead. Let's hear your input on it.
because it was good.
Yeah, it's okay. That's
So,
not that song in particular is one of the ones where I was like, where do I put this thing? Because it's so fucking epic. It's so good that I just stuck it in the middle at number 5.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have it up there because yes, it is kind of one of GNR's like greatest songs. I always love songs that are long, and of the trilogy, of course, there was supposed to be Coma was supposed to be involved in that. There was
Is that right?
supposed to be 4 videos. Never got that far. But it's also, if you go back to
4 videos in the trilogy.
what is it? Of course, now I got to have the wife come in here. But that whole like trilogy was kind of based off of the works of Del James,
Without You by Del James.
Without You,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
is like a section of the fear of language is a whole piece. So I just actually kind of looked into that last night.
Yeah.
So Without You isn't an actual book, but it's a section of the fear of language. I think that's what it was called.
Yeah.
So it's supposed to be, and it's weird. We were looking at it a little bit, and it's the story of this like rock star and and his love relationship and so on. Now, if you start looking at the videos after knowing that, it's like, oh, it all comes. You
Yeah,
start to see it a little bit more.
I did a little
between-
research about that song too, because it's on my list, and I think Stephanie Seymour was supposed to be in it, and then but they broke up like beforehand or something, or
Well, yeah, the whole thing. Actually, it's somewhere behind me. I don't know where it went. Oh, it's way up there. It's all you can't see it.
no,
It's,
barely.
Yeah, it's the People magazine with Axl Rose on the cover and Stephanie Seymour, and titled "Battered Beauties," and that was where the whole abuse thing came.
Yeah,
So, but yeah, the other thing in that video being, you were talking about Slash. One of the comments on the video said something about Slash's guitar is crying. Actually, even in the liner notes, Axl thanks Slash for the guitar parts, which I kind of thought was really weird. Almost looking like, wow, like, why are you thanking him in the liner notes as if like you guys aren't together? But then there's a whole story of them when they were recording the album. It seems like none of them were ever there together in the same room and so on. Also, the most awesome scene ever is when Axl jumps off the tanker into the water.
Yeah.
Like that scene right there is just, I love it. The very stupid, dumb part of that video is at the very end
What's that?
where Axel thanks you or something like that, and he's sitting in the chair with a dolphin. The dolphin sitting next to him.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And
Oh
I
yeah.
was just like, I remember going, "Wow, this is an insane, awesome video. What the fuck is he doing with a dolphin?"
Oh, see,
It's so
I saw
weird.
that and it was weird. I saw it, but I always thought it was just lighthearted and just like, all right, it's
But yeah, and then he turns and he like kind of looks at you like with this like, not like a wink, but with this like weird
stupid.
grin,
Yeah.
and it's going, "What the fuck is that?" It just
I thought
that like lost me.
no, it didn't lose me. I thought it was fine. That's all just a lighthearted thing. Nothing
Yeah.
wrong with that. It's
But
a
I like in that song to where the song changes almost like mood to where it's almost like another song where at the
yeah.
end where it comes in where he does the jump off the tanker and stuff. It's just this different mood, and it is an insane song. It really, really is. So I'll
I
put that at
I
my
think it's the
number
best in
2.
their catalog. I think it's the best song they have in their catalog.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
would
yeah.
put that song above anything on Appetite, and we know what an amazing debut that is. I would
Right.
rank Estranged above all that stuff.
Yeah, yeah, that one is definitely good.
My number 2, it's just
Just a video.
it's just it's you want to be a rock star. It's one of those videos where you just want this for yourself. It's just super cool. To me, it was super cool. Not so much the subject matter of the song, but the video itself. Going back to the crew, don't go away, mad. Just go away.
Mm.
That's my number 2 video. When he's trying to get his way across the country from New York to LA, and he finally makes it at the end. Little high five to the band members, and then they just start
Right.
jamming. They just get right into it, and then I'm like, that's fucking awesome.
Yeah, that is definitely cool. I mean, the song is great. I do love the song. I
Yeah,
had spoken to some people recently, and one person said that they really didn't like that song.
Motley Crue is a friend of mine hates the way Vince Neil sings. Always has. Even
Is it the same friend? Because that's the same. My guy said the same
no,
thing. Pretty much.
I don't think it is. But I think it's important to, you got your opinions, but you cannot deny the impact that and then what they had or what they did throughout the 1980s. And I think it sort of culminated with Dr. Feelgood. Everyone loves the rawness of the first couple of albums, Shout at the Devil and Too Fast for Love and stuff. But Dr. Feelgood, maybe we should do an episode on Dr. Feelgood. That's the first album ever that I took note of an album's production.
Yeah.
I said something about this sounds different. It just sounds so clear. I loved it. And it's, that's by Bob Rock. That's his production. But that's beside the point. The video, it just looked like they just had a blast playing music together. And it's one of those videos that says, I want to do that. I want to be able to do that. So when that came out, I might have just started getting into guitar.
Yeah.
At the time. I don't remember when we started. We started roughly the same time, didn't we?
I think the exact year or so, within months.
Yeah. But it was around then. And it's because of videos like that. They just looked like they were just having fun playing. No, no stress. They're just playing.
Right.
Having a good time. That's what it was about.
So we're at our ones.
This is it. This is the number 1. Wait. Let me guess. Let me see if I can get. Let me guess yours. Number 1.
Go ahead. You're not going to be anywhere near close.
All right. Simply Irresistible. Robert Palmer.
Yep. It's not it.
No. Oh, hold on. Oh, if I guess it, it'll ruin it. It's On the Dark Side. John Cafferty and the Beaver Brown Band.
I had thought of that one, but nope.
All right.
No.
All right, go ahead.
So the number one, and it was in a
Wait.
soundtrack.
Before you say it, was it always your number one, or did you revise your list a bunch of times?
No, I threw it in as that would be the number one for actually just one particular reason, really.
Because my number one was always my number one, even before we decided we are going to do this. This is going to be my number one. All right, go ahead. I don't want to. Go ahead. This is your time to shine.
Rock the Cradle of Love by Billy Idol.
Really?
Yes.
I got to tell you, that song almost made my list. It's for the chick, isn't it?
Oh my God. For Devin. Yes.
Is Devin here?
Yep. I mean, so put that song on last night, and in that video, Billy Idol had just had the car accident. And
That's why he's only
stuff
like
in the photos on the wall and
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah. So
he's all banged up.
yeah. So Devin is 19 in this video. Like the actual actress is 19.
I don't even know who that was. Between that chick was always and Tom Petty free falling chick.
It was like her name was like Betsy something Green, something like that. And
Betsy.
Yeah, it was just like, what? Yeah, Devin was definitely better. But it's
Devin.
definitely for her. The song is definitely cool, but that video is absolutely insane. Just I have to stop this. I can't believe this is going on. Hey, what do you fucking need? Why do you keep coming in? You're distracting me. What do you need? Like, holy fucking shit.
There's no reason why that shouldn't be left in.
It's fucking unbelievable.
He should have been knocking on the door, been like, can I use your tape player? Or whatever she says. Oh, sure. Yeah, come on in.
So she's just hot as hell in there. The whole thing, just it's still to this day, that video just like I rewatched it last night to refresh, and that thing just still lives up. There's none of that, because if you look at some of these people, it's like, oh, they got this like the whole thing is like timeless. What a video. So that was there's a lot of sex oriented music, but that's half of what rock and roll is all about.
Why did the stereo not turn off when he pulled the cord, and he's like, why didn't it turn off?
Because that's just your luck when something like that happens.
And then she spills the wine all over all over her. Yeah, she spilled it on her, right? And then she gave him all over her shirt. Here, take my shirt and wash it in your fucking laundry while I...
Oh, yeah. Fucking flying around on the bed, and then that whole freaking leg spread fucking... Oh, yeah. Just... Yeah. So that was great.
That song, Cradle of Love, that's your number one. That song, Cradle of Love, was on the...
Ford Fairlane.
Right, Ford Fairlane soundtrack.
Yeah. Yep.
Which I saw in the theater and was way too young to see in the theater. We went with Johnson, and we told... My mom was cool with me seeing Andrew Dice Clay stuff. Listen, Andrew Dice Clay was like a rock star back then.
Right.
But his mom was definitely not cool. We lied, and we said, we're going to see Days of Thunder. So Days of Thunder was in the theater at the time.
Yeah.
And we went to the movies, and we actually bought 2 tickets for The Adventures of Ford Fairlane.
Yeah.
And we saw that movie, which is...
Days of Thunder. That's where you first hear Knocking on Heaven's Door from GNR.
Well, I don't know. I didn't see that movie. We went to go see...
Well, if you saw it...
We went to go see Ford Fairlane.
Yeah.
Good song. Good song.
So that's my tens.
All right. So now my number one. I mean, if anybody was listening through the whole thing, or even last epi,
It's gonna be Steely Dan.
it's Steely Dan. You know where that band got its name?
No idea.
I,
About to
I,
find out.
I think a Steely Dan was a sex toy. Yeah, from what I understand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From what you've purchased in your Amazon list.
Right. Yeah. It's on my wish list right now. It'll be linked on our website if you want to get that for me. Any guess? Any guess? Come on. I mean, it'll be simple.
Yeah, it's got to be Rock and Roll All Night by Kiss.
No. That's a cool video, though. That's a cool video because it takes clips from Kiss Exposed, which I certainly rented from the video store enough.
Yeah.
No, but it is Crazy Crazy Nights by Kiss. That's my number one. That's my introduction to them. That is my first introduction to I want to play guitar. I want to be a rock star, even though, didn't quite work out with the rock star thing, but it put the seed in my brain that music is going to be a big part of your life.
Right.
Or just be very important. The song has a good message. The video itself is just a concert video. There's cool effects in it and stuff like that, but it's the first one for me that I noticed, they're having fun. The audience is having fun. They're playing the guitar, and there's a big drum kit, and it was just the start of all of it. Were there better videos? Yeah, but for me, it was the start, and it's our personal list. So that's my number one, Crazy Crazy Nights by Kiss, 1987.
And there you have it. Flannel Try Podcast, top 10 lists of videos that just have nothing to do with anybody else but us.
If you're listening, what's your list? I mean, you got a list? Do you remember watching all this shit? Have you ever watched MTV when it's good? When it was good? Are you even old enough? I don't even know what the hell.
Do, you can contact us through our socials.
Nice. What a segue.
Right, exactly. And Jay will fill you in because I have no fucking idea what half of them are.
Look, I got the website up and going, flanneltribepodcast.com. And through that, well, you can have links to all of them. What did I do? I did a Facebook. You got the YouTube. Of course, you can get us on Spotify. You can get us on Twitter or X or whatever the hell it's called now. What else is there? Oh, the big one, TikTok. TikTok is the big one.
You don't stop.
TikTok, you don't stop. Go ahead. Who is it?
TikTok, you don't stop.
Oh, I want to sex you up. Color me bad.
Yes, that's it.
Which didn't make my list.
Nah. You know what should have made my list?
What?
Videos we're going to get into next time when we talk about what should have made our list.
Right. Next episode, what should have made the list? No. We don't know what next episode is. We don't record a bunch and store them for release. So we kind of just do it on the spot.
On the spot.
Right.
If you're not on the spot, spot's lost.
You're off the spot. Those social TikTok's the big. See, I don't know I don't do TikTok, so everything is like a learning experience. So I come to understand that it's an important avenue to explore. So, we got little clips on the TikTok.
We have an email.
Oh yeah, what's the email?
A lot of you guys are not fond or new. You don't know what an email is. So electronic message that you can send us through the emails
Through the internet.
flanneltribepodcast@yahoo.com.
At yahoo.com.
yahoo.com.
Right.
So spam us.
We didn't even mention that shit last week. Or 2 weeks ago, and we got some feedback. We did get some feedback. Some of it was from people we knew. Some of it was not. Yeah. It's cool to get feedback. I want to hear people's opinions. I want to hear. Don't be afraid to say, "Hey, dude, you're out of your mind. That song sucks," or whatever. It doesn't have. You don't have to agree with us. It's an opinion. What do you got? Don't be afraid to share. Or I can't believe you put that song at number 10 and not number 1 or whatever. Because lists always suck. Every time I hear somebody's list, like you ever hear like Rolling Stone ranks something, it's always the same shit. It's always like Led Zeppelin number 1. It's
Yeah.
Beatles are always up there.
And Led Zeppelin doesn't belong to be on any list at any number.
Uh-oh. You're gonna piss some people off.
Bring it.
Well, yeah, and I got my own opinion on the Beatles as well too. I'm not a
Uh-oh.
Well,
Piss somebody off with that one.
listen, I'm sorry. I can appreciate their contributions. Are they some,
Thank you.
You know,
Thank you for being here.
it was before my time, so maybe that's why.
Right.
I mean, it's one of those you got to be there type of things.
Like a joke.
But this is a conversation between people that enjoy music. So get in on the conversation and join the tribe. Right? All right, rock and roll, everyone. Hold on. You know what this is? This is for the devil.
Another episode.
Right. Coming soon, devil worship
Yeah,
in the late 80s and early 90s.
for sure.
All right. Well, thanks for we did not come up with a sign off. Thanks for stopping by.
Yeah. No, definitely.
No, you can't use that. You can't use
No.
Anchorman.
No, take it sleazy.
Shake it easy.
That's it. Right on.
Peace out.
Later.
Goodbye.